Nigeria Police Force repatriates wanted Chinese gang leader in joint Interpol operation. Nigerian Air Force kills over 35 terrorists near Cameroon border in Operation Hadinkai. And National Drug Law Enforcement Agency arrests widow attempting to traffic cocaine using fake pregnancy. Hello and welcome to the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. We're live in Abuja. I am Dennis Adegunloye. Another canoe mishap has been recorded in Sokoto State, the second within a week. This time the incident occurred in Garimfaji, Sabambiri local government area, where a canoe carrying about 30 persons capsized. Reports indicate that the victims, mostly villagers who usually flee their homes at night to escape bandit attacks, were returning to their community when the canoe struck and obstacles overturned. So far, 21 people, including the two canoe operators, survived the accident. 6 bodies have been recovered and buried according to Islamic rites, while 3 persons remain unaccounted for. A joint rescue team comprising NEMA, Sokoto Operations Office, NIWA, SEMA, the Nigerian Army, Red Cross, the Sokoto State Ministry of Works, as well as local officials and traditional leaders visited the scene. Search and rescue efforts are ongoing to locate the missing persons, even as authorities continue to monitor the situation closely. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has made major breakthroughs in its nationwide war against illicit drugs, arresting a widow who attempted to traffic cocaine using a fake pregnancy disguise. In a week-long operation spanning multiple states, NDLEA operatives also intercepted 75,000 kilograms of cannabis, seized hundreds of thousands of opioid pills, and dismantled large-scale drug farms in Delta, Ondo, Edo, and Taraba states. Here are details.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has arrested a 50-year-old widow, Ifeoma Henrietta Ezewike, for attempting to traffic 1.3 kg of cocaine using a fake pregnancy disguise. The fashion designer was nabbed at a Lagos bus terminal en route to Abuja, with a follow-up search of her residence uncovering drug-cutting agents. She confessed to inheriting the illicit trade from her late husband. In Lagos, operatives intercepted 90 parcels of loud cannabis hidden in kitchen sinks at a courier firm. In Abuja, 2 dispatch riders were busted distributing pentazocine injections and skunk. Meanwhile, NDLEA agents in Adamawa raided the home of a wanted drug kingpin, recovering over 350,000 pills of tramadol and arresting his associates. Massive seizures continued across several states. In Kano, multiple arrests were made and over 450,000 pills of opioids recovered, including pregabalin, tramadol, and codeine syrup. In Kogi, a woman was caught trafficking opioids across the river Niger, while large quantities of cannabis were intercepted in Kwara and Ekiti states, with several suspects in custody. In forest operations, NDLEA teams, sometimes backed by military support, destroyed vast cannabis farms in Delta, Ondo, Taraba, and Edo states, wiping out over 75,000 kg of skunk hidden across plantations and warehouses. NDLEA Chairman Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa commended officers nationwide for their diligence and urged them to sustain their balanced drug control efforts.
The Nigeria Police Force has repatriated a high-profile Chinese fugitive, Mr. Dai Shisheng, in a landmark operation executed through the Interpol National Central Bureau, Abuja. A statement by the force notes that the successful repatriation carried out in collaboration with Interpol, NCB Beijing, and the Chinese Embassy in Nigeria underscores the force's unwavering commitment to tackling transnational organized crime. Mr. Xi Sheng, a notorious gang leader wanted in Yuzhou province, China, for orchestrating violent organized crimes, fled his country in 2024 to evade arrest by the Public Security Bureau of Zhejiang County. He was tracked and apprehended in Abuja on 8th of August 2025 and repatriated to Beijing on 15th August under the framework of police-to-police cooperation coordinated by Interpol. Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun describes the operation as a strong message to global crime networks that Nigeria does not serve as a hiding place for fugitives. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Air Force under Operation Hadinkai has intensified efforts to dominate the battle space and deny terrorists freedom of action in the northeast. In a precision air interdiction carried out in the early hours of 23rd August 2025, the Nigerian Air Force killed more than 35 terrorists who had converged near the Nigeria-Cameroon border following an attack on ground troops at Kumshi. A statement by Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ehimen Ejodame, indicates that acting on multiple intelligence from several sources, the air components executed precise strikes in successive passes, engaging the terrorists and killing them at 4 identified assembly areas. Following the operation, communication was re-established with ground troops who confirmed that the situation around their location had been stabilized. The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, commended the professionalism of the air crew and reaffirmed that the Nigerian Air Force will sustain aggressive and intelligence-driven operations to ensure the complete degradation of terrorist elements threatening Nigeria's sovereignty. And a team of the Center for Strategic Research and Studies under the National Defense College is partnering UN Women to raise awareness of women at the military barracks to provoke positive action in the fight against gender-based violence, especially rape. Dr. Alabi reports that the team launched a Break the Silence campaign at some of the military barracks in Abuja, including Ushafa, Mambila, and Mogadishu, among others.
Nigerian women suffer violence from home, workplace and community. These women are mothers, daughters, sisters and wives who endure daily suffering because abuse and exploitation are often not reported. And with passing days, they are implicitly told that their suffering doesn't matter and their rights disregarded. FIDA Nigeria 2024 statistics showed that nearly 1 in 3 aged 15 to 49 women has experienced violence. And for this team from the Center for Strategic Research and Studies under the National Defense College, safe spaces and stronger communities are needed to break silence and end abuse.
A 4-year-old child, her mother sent her out to get something within the barracks, and she was raped to the extent that she had to be stitched. And till now, nothing has been done about it. They couldn't identify the perpetrators.
There's a lot of things going on now, and it's time to break the culture of silence. People need to speak out. Yes, rape is real and it is not right.
We are going to do our best. And anytime that we see our children with uncles or aunties, some even aunties,
Funny aunties,
the way that they rape our children, now people that they keep quiet. But now we will not keep quiet. Anytime that we see such thing, we are going to talk it out.
These awareness at some military barracks in Abuja, including Ushafa, Mambila, Mogadishu, among others, is a reminder of the shared responsibility to be the change and protect others.
I am happy for this program, that God used people to organize this program for our children, for the adults, to train them. When anybody has them to do the wrong thing, with this lecture, they can be able to cope.
Because of the way we live in the barracks, it will enable our children to learn more concerning sexual abuse.
and we're encouraging the institutions to see how we can equip an office, specifically for sexual and gender abuse, so that these cases can be reported and perpetrators can also be brought to justice.
For the group, the message is for everyone to be on the same page in the fight against sexual abuse. In Abuja, Tokpe Alabi, NTA News.
In other news, the Nasarawa State Traditional Council of Chiefs has expressed concern over the increasing cases of kidnapping in the state, despite efforts of government to stem the tide. The traditional rulers made their position known during an extraordinary meeting in Lafia. Chairman of the council and the Emir of Lafia, His Royal Highness Sidi Mohammed Bagir, described the situation as worrisome and called on security agencies to adopt a radical approach towards addressing the menace. The council also bemoaned the unfortunate situation where young persons are allegedly engaged in the sale of their kidneys for what is described as little pittance. It, however, commended Presidents Bola Tinubu and Governor Abdullahi Sule's commitment to the security of lives and property of the people, urging them to sustain the tempo. The council is reassuring both the federal and Nasarawa state governments of its unwavering commitment to the cause of peace and unity among communities across the state, and warned land grabbers against the sharp practice as such acts will not be condoned. This is the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. More reports in a moment. Stay with us.
Every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blending performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African roads.
Welcome back. Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Professor Nintawe Yewanda, has commended the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu in transforming the lives of Nigerians through impactful initiatives and projects. The national chairman made the commendation during a working visit and first phase flag-off of the Renewed Hope Empowerment Program in Bayelsa State, where hundreds of women and youths were empowered. Ibinimi Zitimiola reports.
The Renewed Hope Empowerment Program, flagged off in Bayelsa State by the APC National Chairman, is in furtherance of President Bola Tinubu's drive to improve the lives and livelihoods of citizens. Hundreds of women and youth went home with mini buses, deep freezers, generating sets, chillers, cash gifts, and more.
Animal lobbied for it, but God did it. It's divine.
I want to also appreciate the Renewed Hope agenda for finding us worthy for this great honor.
We need to provide a safety net for our people. That is why we decided to get a few buses to empower our people,
so that they can use it to add value to their businesses. So we believe that this will go a long way in empowering our people.
This is not just limited to what you have seen here today. They are taking this to every local government in Bayelsa. Nigeria today, look at NELFund scheme. NELFund scheme is meant for students.
The APC National Chairman and key stakeholders commended the community development initiatives and other support groups for the gesture. The President's love for the state and achievements in infrastructure, education, transportation, and the diversification of the economy for sustainable growth were highlighted.
And that's the principle of the Renew Hope agenda, taking governance, every home, every life, every person, to the weak, to the strong, to the vulnerable.
Mr. President's Renewed Hope agenda is working, and the people of Bayelsa State are appreciative of what Mr. President has done.
In NDC, we define the Renewed Hope as a social contract that is transmitting ideas and vision into reality. And this is to show what we are doing here today is transmitting ideas and vision to reality.
We are going to return
President Bola Tinubu in 2027.
The APC chairman, alongside other members of the APC Working Committee, had earlier met with the Bayelsa State Executive and key stakeholders, where they were warmly received by party faithful. Ebinemi Zitemiola, NTA News.
Meanwhile, political players, civil society and women themselves have been told to push beyond rhetoric and ensure the practical realization of the 35% affirmative action. This was at a convergence of critical stakeholders in politics, civic ecosystem and institutions on participation of women ahead of the 2027 general elections. It is all about SHAPE, an acronym for strengthening her aspirations for political engagement. Participants recommitted to the attainment of 35% affirmative action in the 2027 general elections.
It is a constitutional imperative, and recognition of women's right to all at the table needs to be at the table where decisions are made to shape policies that affect our lives.
Women make up nearly half of Nigeria's population, yet their representation in political leadership remains abysmally low.
Why can't we have this? Can't just this be our story in Nigeria? Even if we don't have a female president, can we have a female vice president?
Now, the Mother and Child Specialist Medical Hospital Ubwangwe is aimed at addressing specific medical needs for its target patients, has been inaugurated and handed over to the management of the Federal Medical Center, Asaba. Godfrey Nzikwe reports that the facility is a project of the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals in collaboration with the Federal Medical Center, Asaba.
Mother and Child Specialist Hospital is a crucial step in addressing the unique healthcare needs of mother and child in the state. It will provide comprehensive care, promoting healthy pregnancies, safe deliveries, and overall well-being of youngest citizens. It is designed to ensure that every mother feels supported, every child receives the best start in life, providing healthcare access to every family.
We noticed the high rate of maternal and infant deaths, and that's where you target our intervention to see how we can partner with the sub-national government on the instruction and directive of Mr. President to ensure that no woman die in the course of giving birth to a child.
This is a fantastic project that reflects the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President as it relates to health. We are here today to officially unveil the project.
The state governor, Sheriff Oborewore, represented by his chief of staff, Johnson Erijo, commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the gesture.
On behalf of the government and people of Delta State, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to the federal government, and in particular to the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs.
The high point of the event was the inauguration of the 80-bed Mother and Child Specialist Hospital and Doctor's Quarter by Governor Sheriff Oborewore. Other dignitaries include the Olu of Warri, His Majesty Ogami Atuase III, and his entourage. Earlier, there was a tour of facilities and inauguration of 80-room house officers' quarters at Federal Medical Center Asaba by the Chairman, Board of Management, Federal Medical Center Asaba, Dr. Mary Idede. In Warri, Godfrey Nzekwe, NTA News.
This is the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. Here's a recap of our top stories. Nigeria Police Force repatriates wanted Chinese gang leader in joint Interpol operation. Nigerian Air Force kills over 35 terrorists near Cameroon border in Operation Hadinkai. A National Drug Law Enforcement Agency arrests widow attempting to traffic cocaine using fake pregnancy.
This is NTA News 24.
The Sultan of Sokoto and President General Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs Mohammed Saad Abubakar has declared Monday 25th August 2025 as the first day of Rabiul Awwal 1447 after Hijrah. The declaration was contained in a statement signed by the chairman of the Sultanate Council Advisory Committee on Religious Affairs, Professor Sambo Wali Junedu, the Waziri Sokoto. He says the decision followed reports from the Sultanate Council Advisory Committee on Religious Affairs in conjunction with the National Moon Sighting Committee, which confirmed that no sighting of the new crescent was received from moon sighting committees across the country on Saturday, 23rd August 2025, corresponding to 29th Safar 1447 after Hijrah. It explains that Sunday, 24th August 2025 would therefore be the 30th day of Safar, thereby making Monday the first day of Rabiul Awwal 1447 after Hijrah. President Bola Tinubu condoles with the family, friends and associates of Colonel Mohammed Manna, retired, a former military administrator of Plateau State and one-time senator who passed away in the early hours of Saturday in Abuja. The All Progressives Congress chieftain represented Adamawa North in the Senate between 2007 and 2011. President Tinubu describes Manna as a distinguished patriot and officer gentleman who gave much to his fatherland in and out of uniform. The president lauds Manna's commitment to the common good and a better society, saying his counsel and leadership would be sorely missed. President Tinubu commiserates with the people and governments of Adamawa State and members of the APC family in the state who benefited from Senator Manna's wisdom. He was chairman of the party's Reconciliation Committee until his death. And President Bola Tinubu joins the management and staff of the Nation newspaper in mourning the passing of the assistant editor, Miss Evelyn Osagie. Osagie died at the age of 49 after a brief illness. President Tinubu describes her death at the tender age as a sad and heartbreaking event, recalling that the late Osagie was one of the nation's most talented, creative and hardworking correspondents. The late Osagie specialized in arts and culture reporting and wrote extensively on women's issues. President Tinubu describes the late Osagie as a consummate poet in written and spoken forms with widespread influence and contacts in literary and cultural circles, noting that the late Osagie distinguished herself in the various fields she traversed. The president prays for the peaceful repose of her soul and for the strength of her family and the management of the Nation newspaper and all her professional colleagues. The National Primary Healthcare Development Agency is engaging the traditional institutions in Nasarawa State towards the success of the forthcoming measles rubella vaccination exercise. Victoria Ojito reports that the Director, Health, Education and Social Mobilization of the agency in the States, Mohammed Abubakar Ibrahim, led the team to the palace of the Emir of Lafia.
Support of traditional institutions in Nasarawa State, noting that without community participation, the public healthcare sector will not achieve its goal on a healthy society. The director explained that measles rubella is a contagious viral infection that can cause a deafness, blindness, heart disease, brain damage, and even death in children. The disease is a vaccine-preventable one that is administered to children aged 9 to 15 months. The Emir of Lafia, Sidi Bagay Mohammed, who applauded the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency for the initiative, said the state will carry the advocacy down to the grassroots and will ensure caregivers avail their children for the vaccination. The exercise, which is expected to be launched on October 4th, will last for 4 days. In Lafia, Victoria Kaswa Ojito, NTA News.
And that concludes the News Desk at 3 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adegunloye.